Aloha. Welcome to ICS 101, Digital Tools for the Information World. I'm your instructor, Dr. Stephen Singer. ICS 101 is broken up into two main components. The first part deals with issues and concepts related to information technology, things like security, privacy, technology trends, forensics, things you hear about in the news all the time. Second part deals primarily with business applications. In particular, we're dealing with Microsoft Office, applications like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access, and of course the operating system which we are currently working on is Windows 8. Now this is an online class, and as an online class there are a few differences between that and a face-to-face class. One of the first things you must realize in an online class, students have to be disciplined. You have to remember to do your homework. You have to set aside time regularly throughout the week and do the reading, do the exercises that you need to do. There's a lot of work in this class. You can't just do it a couple hours on the weekend and expect to get a good grade. You need to work on this throughout the week. And essentially you have to be motivated to do this class at home. Because you don't have the stimulus of sitting in a classroom, a physical classroom with an instructor, sitting or standing in front of you. You have to remember all this stuff and be motivated on your own. You got to be a good reader. A lot of the material presented in this class is done through reading. I mean, there's also a lot of audio and video materials as well, but still there's a lot of reading in this class. You look at the textbooks, they're rather large. And you have to follow directions. So the directions are going to be primarily in text format, and you have to be good at following directions clearly. And if you have questions, ask them early. If you ask them at the last minute, they might not get answered in time, and I'm sorry, just not understanding the question is not an excuse for not having done the assessment. Now, an online class is extremely convenient, which is why many of you take an online class. It can save you money and time. I mean, you don't have to spend gas money or bus money or any other kind of transportation cost. And time, of course, it all takes time to go onto campus, and you don't have to deal with parking or anything. Now, you can stay at home and you can do this with a cup of coffee or whatever, a sandwich at your desk side, and kids running around, and that's all good and well. Now, with all this convenience and everything, however, it comes a shift in responsibility. Now, when you take a class in a face-to-face environment, the college will assume the responsibility for maintaining the computers and making sure all the software is installed and everything's working properly for you to do everything you need to do for the class. Since you have elected to take this class in an online environment, now you are responsible for maintaining the hardware, the software, and everything. So if you don't have access to a computer, well, you could be in trouble. If you don't have the right software, you could be in trouble. If your internet goes down, you could be in trouble. This is your responsibility. It's at this point, it's not the college's. Now, what do you need for this class? We use Technology in Action as our main issues and concept text. It's an excellent text. It has a lot of really good ancillary materials. I think you'll like it. You have a textbook that we use for studying Microsoft Office. In this case, Office 2013, called Exploring. In that also is a module for Windows 8 as well as Office 2013. Now you need an access code, that is a student access code for getting into my IT lab, which I guess you already have since you're listening to this. And you have to have an IT lab course ID, which again I guess you have because you're listening to this. And as I mentioned before, you have to have access to a computer that has Windows 8, Word 2013, Excel 2013, PowerPoint 2013, and Access 2013. Now, if you bought a different version of Office 2013 or Office 365 that does not have Access, maybe you bought the the education version, the student teacher version, I think it's called, it may not have access. But you can download this for free. I'll give you that information later on through MSDNAA or DreamSpark. Or you could go right on to the Microsoft site, and when access comes around, you can download a trial version. You only need access for maybe 2-3 weeks at max. And of course, you're going to need a fast, stable internet connection, and you need storage space for all the various project files that we're going to be working with. Now, this is a 16-week course. It's not a self-paced course where you can just do whatever you want. I tried that. It didn't work out so well. People just waited to the last moment. I pace you through the class. I have something due pretty much each week. And those due dates are very firm. You have to have them due on those dates. You can turn them in earlier, but you cannot turn them in late. Now, this is a college course, so the expectation is that you're going to behave in a collegiate manner. You should have a positive attitude, a sense of cooperation. You should have respect for each other and yourself. There's a certain amount of online discussion logs going on, and you need to be polite and respectful to one another. You need to, of course, do your own work by the due dates. Doing your own work means you're not submitting somebody else's work. Submitting somebody else's work is cheating. It's plagiarism. It is not allowed. Nor is turning something in late. Again, no late. Now, on the issues and concepts part, that's the tech in action, we're going to have discussion logs, we're going to have quizzes, we're going to have exams. A midterm and a final. And it's going to amount to roughly 35 to 40% of the class. The majority of the class deals with the business applications, which is the Grauer textbook, all that hands-on stuff. And we're doing all this stuff through my IT lab. So there are greater projects, which are the big part of the class. Those greater projects, again, amount to following very detailed directions. You're going to download a starter file and a direction file. And you follow the directions and you make the various modifications to the starter file, and then you upload the completed starter file, be it in Word, Excel, Access, or PowerPoint, and you upload that back up to my IT lab. Now, the file that you download, that starter file, is encrypted. And I'm sure you've heard about encryption. It's encrypted with your specific My IT Lab student ID. And so it's looking for that particular ID, that is My IT Lab is looking for that specific student ID when you upload it. So if you upload either on purpose or accidentally, you upload your friend's file as their student ID, it's considered submitting somebody else's work. And that is, again, cheating. So although it is okay to work together, and help each other study and understand the material, no problem with that. You must upload the same file you download, and you need to get it clear. You need to make sure you know which file is yours and which file is your friend's. Failure to follow these instructions can be detrimental. And of course, there'll be chapter quizzes on a lot of the application stuff as well, just kind of a conceptual check. There is e-text for the Tech in Action, as well as the Grauer book, that have links and everything to them. Now, you get those, the e-text, you get access to the e-text if you buy everything online. If you buy everything from the KCC bookstore, then you don't have access to the e-text, unless you do an I think you can buy an upgrade. I'm not sure. Again, we have quizzes for Tech in Action and Office. We have the exams, which are actually most of it's Tech in Action, but there's Windows 8 stuff as well in there. We have the greater projects. We have discussion logs. I will post announcements regularly. Actually, I plan on giving you. I'm planning on doing some email announcements weekly, but I'll also have other announcements. On email, if you want to email me, please email me at singer@hawaii.edu and use your UH email account. Don't use your Yahoo or any other account. Use your UH email account so I know who you are. So what should you do now? Well, you should, of course, familiarize yourself with the site and the tools. Look through all the material. There are 16 weeks listed. After that, there's a final exam. There's an extra credit folder at the very bottom, and a few other little things you can check out. You should read through the syllabus, the schedule, the orientation letter, anything you see there at the beginning before week 1. And then in week 1, there's an Aloha discussion log. You should read that and introduce yourself. Okay, and then in week 2, we got some other stuff to do, including taking the syllabus schedule quiz. Do that right away, and then we'll be getting the semester going. Thanks a lot.